Hey everybody, this is James. We are almost live at Mrs. Rattlecan's house, and I just kind of wanted to show you something. This is the current state of the majority of the floors in this house. As you can see, they're really, well, there's a lot of dust on them because we're, when you cut holes in walls like that, it does tend to generate a bit of dust. And I couldn't take it anymore. So here in the hallway and two of the bedrooms, I've gone ahead and given them a nice mopping. Nothing fancy, just probably half a cup of Murphy's oil soap and some hot waters. Hot waters I can get here right now. We have the hot water turned down just because we're not in the house very much doing anything that needs hot water, so why spend the money to heat water you're not going to use? Anyways, as you can see, there are a number of scratches and gouges. I'm going to guess at some point there was probably a bed right there in that spot. As we come over here to the closet, you can see where there was when they put carpet in, they had to put a spacer to hold the. There's a little bracket that holds the bottom of the door so they don't go all floppy all over the place, and so that didn't age at the same rate as the rest of the wood did. We'll come in here to the other bedroom. Again, there's a fair amount of scratches, rubs, marks. Somebody drug something across there, all the way across there. And so, but you can live with it. I've been in worse. So considering that we're pretty much rug people anyways, I don't know. We're kind of at an impasse at the moment just because we're busy doing the rewiring. So we don't know. We're kind of entertaining some suggestions that we've gotten about running a buffer, like a buffing pad over the floor, which I'm totally not against that. The big issue we have is like right here, and you can see there was a pad of some sort, and there's a quite marked residue on there. I mean, when you run your foot along it, it changes sound. It's definitely on the surface. And I made a couple of attempts at scrubbing it with just some some Murphy's oil soap and water, and not much else besides that. So if you have an idea, if you have a tried and true method for trying to get stuff like this up off of the floor, I would love to hear it. We'll come in here. This room has not been, I didn't mop this just because. We'll look up here, and you might be able to see some marks up above. I have to drill a hole. In fact, pretty soon, this afternoon, I have to replace a light on the outside of the workshop, and then I'm going to come in. I'm going to drill that center hole, which is going to allow me to run power for Mrs. Rattlecan's new light, which means I can then patch the wall, which means then I can repair the wall, which means that I can then hang Mrs. Rattlecan's mirror when she's done painting it, which of course will happen after I repair the tile, which is going to happen after I build a new countertop, which will happen after I replace the tile that we had to bust out to fix the water pipe, which will happen before we replace the toilet and finish the, oh man, okay. Now I'm overwhelmed. Anyways, back to the floor. If you have ideas and methods, if we have to, we'll strip it all down. I'm not, as you can see, not much scares me. So if I have to get a sander in here and we just sand the whole thing down to, to bare wood, we'll do that. But if there's a way that I could avoid that, that'd be okay. Now, the area where that changes is, of course, right here. From this point forward, this has got some sort of adhesive from where they put down the slate vinyl peel and stick tiles, or I think this part over here they used a mastic of some sort. So I've got to get all this up. Don't have an idea how to do that right yet. And of course it goes all the way into the closet. And then that takes us over into the Asian room, or as my oldest son likes to call it, the murder room, because he's firmly convinced that there was a body there that bled out at some point. I think it was just a mechanic with dirty feet, or a machinist who didn't wipe his shoes off. He lived in this room apparently. So in this room, we're probably going to sand this down anyways and try to stain it a darker color, just to try to make the difference between the floor and, well, the murder scene a lot less obvious. So anyways, I've gone on long enough. Flooring, getting residue off of floors. Give me your ideas. Send me a link. Send me a video. Send me pictures. Anything that you've got. I would really, really, really love to see that, because if I don't have to strip these floors, I would really rather not, just because they're kind of cool the way it is. Anyways, this is the floors of Mrs. Rattlecan's house, and I'm James. You guys have a great weekend. Cheers.